Chinese Communist Party is trying to portray its economic performance as stellar, but the true numbers aren't good, and a wave of new infections in the country could make things even worse. Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Don't forget to join Operation Honeypot by liking this episode and leave a comment below with the Honeypot emoji. Don't know what I'm talking about? Thank YouTube for not showing you the episode. But don't worry, I'll leave a link below. And I'll have more on Operation Honeypot at the end, so stay tuned. So it's no secret that China's economy is not doing so hot. Well, it's no secret everywhere in the world except in China. There, it's top secret. If you've been along for the ride with us these past years, first of all, thank you. But also, you've heard us talk over and over about things like China's real estate crisis and record high youth unemployment rate. But things just keep getting worse. If China's economy were a boxer, it'd be Apollo Creed in his final minutes fighting against Ivan Drago, getting crushed by a communist psychopath. For example, China's population fell for a third straight year in 2024, posing challenges for its economy. Wow, I can't believe people struggling to earn a living for themselves under a government that spent decades saying, don't have so many babies, aren't having that many babies. And the state of China's economy is terrifying the middle class, causing them to send savings abroad for safekeeping, which in turn hurts China's economy. It's a vicious cycle. Of course, the Chinese Communist Party tells a different story. It reported that China's economy grew a healthy 5% last year, mainly driven by high export growth. I mean, it's not like Beijing would ever exaggerate its economic performance, right? There's just one problem. A lot of those exports appear to be from U.S. importers, rushing in goods from China as Trump's tariff threat looms. Which means that even if for some reason Trump decided not to impose the high tariffs he's been going on and on about, that export boom is about to pull a magic trick and vanish. There also was the Chinese Communist Party's booming trade relationship with Russia. Well, according to the China consultancy Sino Insider, that trade relationship appears to have stalled. Compared to last year, the growth of China's exports and imports with Russia are way down. And China's trade with Russia appears to have reached a saturation point. So China can't count on more trade with Russia to grow its economy. And even worse, some parts of China's economy are experiencing actual deflation. In particular, China's industrial sector is driving continued deflation amid a massive supply-demand imbalance. Seriously low demand, especially domestically, huge oversupply. You know how China's been accused of dumping cheap goods around the world? Yeah, that's happening at home too, and creating massive competition between companies, which in turn leads to lower prices and tighter profit margins. It's especially bad in China's EV market. Only about 1 in 7 Chinese EV brands will be profitable by the end of the decade. And that's a big deal because this is an area of the economy the CCP wanted to be the cornerstone of their high-tech future. Cheap Chinese goods are in danger of going out of business because of other cheap Chinese goods. Your Honor, I'd like to present Exhibit A for proof that karma is real. Deflation is continuing to hit the real estate sector as well. But there are hints that it could get so much worse. China is currently being hit by a strain of the HMPV virus. Now, so far on the surface, nothing seems like on the scale of COVID. But phrases around influenza are trending on Chinese social media. According to Sino Insider, on December 30th, mainland media outlet Xiaoxiang Morning News published a report with the title, Highly Contagious and Prone to Mutation, Wuhan CDC Issues Warning. According to information circulating online, some schools in Wuhan had already suspended classes in December. And on January 11th, Dajiyuan, the Chinese language edition of the Epoch Times, reported that a Chinese doctor involved in epidemic monitoring and control said that the CCP's official data about influenza in the country was unreliable, which isn't a surprise. The doctor also said, I have encountered no fewer than 100 cases of H5N1 influenza. H5N1 has already spread widely in China and is basically out of control. It will soon be officially announced. Large-scale quarantine zones are already under construction along highways. H5N1 is the bird flu. Now, so far, some of these reports haven't been verified. The CCP is reporting a slight uptick in the infections of 5 viruses, influenza, HMPV, mycoplasma pneumonia, COVID-19, and adenovirus, but nothing drastic. And of course, the World Health Organization says that it has not received any reports of unusual outbreak patterns. and the Chinese authorities report that the healthcare system is not overwhelmed and there have been no emergency declarations or responses triggered. Well, obviously the WHO would take the word of the CCP. They did it last time. But the last thing China needs is to scare away investors who are getting COVID flashbacks. China also doesn't want to scare its own people either. Intimidate and bully, sure, but scare, no. Okay, scare too. During the zero COVID lockdowns, a lot of Chinese citizens were understandably frustrated about the restrictions. Some even protested and called for Xi Jinping to step down. So it's possible that China is experiencing another epidemic and pretending that's not the case to avoid repeating the chaos. We can't be sure yet. But the CCP is used to delaying announcements of a crisis when one does hit, or simply covering it up altogether. So Beijing's reactions to this wave of infections, along with reports from social media and small outlets, would fit the established pattern of a cover-up. One thing's for sure, if the situation worsens, it'll impact global supply chains and hit the Chinese economy hard. And it's already taking a beating, worse than Apollo Creed against Ivan Drago. And now, Operation Honeypot. I just want to thank some of the tens of thousands of you who have left Honeypot comments below China Uncensored videos to help us fight YouTube censorship. Many of you are saying you weren't getting video recommendations anymore, or that you found out YouTube had unsubscribed you from our channel. But now, something is happening. More of you are getting video recommendations again. In fact, there are now people who aren't even subscribed to China Uncensored, who don't even watch videos about China, who are suddenly seeing our original Honeypot video. I have no idea how to explain that. But what I do know is that it takes an army to fight YouTube suppression. A 50-cent army. So thank you, Apple Seeds, for being a longtime viewer, first-time commenter. Thank you, Copaz, for looking for China Uncensored on your subscription page. Kevin Schnell for resubscribing after YouTube unsubscribed you, and Pause for the Jaws for going back 2 weeks to find our OG Honeypot video. Thank you, Ben and Fam, for loving the channel, and yes, Shelley picked your comment. And thank you, Ray Castell, for commenting, original or not. Thank you all for being a part of Operation Honeypot. You keep China Uncensored going despite everything YouTube is throwing at us. So like this video and leave your Honeypot comment below. I'm Chris Chappell. Never give up.